Morning.
You're filming all the time.
What time is it?
Don't know.
Let's have a look at your points. How many have you got?
The same. It doesn't change every day.
How many do you want?
Don't know. I'm not at the maximum.
Is that possible?
I don't know.
What are we going to do today?
Go shopping.
My name's Sebastien, and I'm French. Lulu is my wife, and she's Chinese. We live in Beijing. Let's film ourselves for a year. Is that okay with you?
Don't I get a private life?
We don't have one anyway.
Shut up.
Shutting up in China is more than a habit. It's a survival technique. I don't think there are any spy cameras in my own home, but there are plenty of reasons to be paranoid.
Have you got the keys?
No, you take them. Welcome to our apartment in North Beijing, outside the 4th Orbital Road. This is where I live with Lulu. I've been a journalist in China since 2007. We live an ordinary life as a married couple, except for one detail. We're never really alone. On our landing or in the lift, they're everywhere. China has at least one surveillance camera for every 2 inhabitants. Electronic eyes which are always watching us. Today, Lulu wants to show me the City Council's latest idea. Is that what you wanted to show me? That screen?
If you cross when the light's red, either in a car or walking, you get displayed on the screen.
And what's the point of that?
To show everyone you broke the rules. Maybe later on you'll lose points.
We won't cross on red then. The cars don't care though.
Yes, it's for everyone. They'll be displayed as well. It's not just for the pedestrians, it's for everyone. You see that girl crossing?
What do you think of this system?
It's to make people follow the rules, to stop them doing stupid things. But it's a bit like being treated like children.
"23 million children in Beijing, 1.4 billion in China as a whole. Children like my wife earn or lose points, are punished or rewarded, depending on their behavior. An entire population under surveillance. Cameras in the street, mobile phone apps, insurance files, police records, bank statements, medical records. In China, all the data are instantly digitized. Smart cities, which supposedly use 5G and big data to improve citizens' lives, are in fact huge surveillance networks. Taking the metro, buying food, buying a book. All these everyday acts are archived by the great digital harvester. The harvesting is done by the regime, which collates all the data to build a digital portrait of each citizen. All the Chinese now have a digital double, which lives its life in Beijing's computer servers. a double which is marked, appraised and judged by the party's computers. To the citizens, it's like a game or a loyalty program. Their loyalty earns them points. Bad marks damage their credit. Such is my wife's day-to-day. Lulu and her fellow citizens are faced with this overseer judging every hour, every second of their lives. My wife isn't a journalist. She works in marketing. To make sense of the impact this technological and social revolution has had on her life, I decided to film her daily routine.
The day's just beginning, and you can't live without a phone. It's already begun. I have to order a car.
More than anywhere else in the world, in China, life is impossible without a mobile phone. The country has over 1 billion subscribers. And nothing escapes the apps that Lulu's installed on her smartphone. What do you see on the app? His name, the number of trips.
You see his name, his car, the make, the color, the number plate, the number of trips he's made, how long he's had his license. You see everything.
So far, so ordinary. Except that here, the entire journey is filmed and recorded by the little camera over the rear-view mirror. The rest is exactly like the system we've all come to know. We give the driver a mark, and he does the same for us. In China, marking has become the norm, as it has across the planet. You hand out points for every online order, every train journey or flight you take. And you do so with your thumb on social media, evaluations which establish a person's popularity or a company's reliability. But on Planet China, all these interactions, all these likes, become so much data, all of which is cross-referenced and locked away in a digital safe to which the government has the key. Activity on social media, but also purchases, travel, and conversations. Private lives stored in a code installed by each Chinese citizen on his or her mobile phone. The COVID-19 epidemic gave the government the chance to add this extra tool to its already substantial data harvesting apparatus. The QR code. Its official objective? To track people's movements and contacts in order to fight the spread of the virus. QR codes are used everywhere, going to the hairdressers.
Use your phone to scan.
Oh, I have to scan?
The one in the middle.
With WeChat?
Shopping, going to the restaurant. Every building we enter, every person we come into contact with, the QR code knows everything we've done. In China, this snitch is installed inside the very applications without which life is impossible. Alipay, a payment app comparable to Apple Pay, and developed by Alibaba, Amazon's Chinese rival. Taobao, Lulu's favorite online shopping site. And not forgetting the group Tencent, the developer of WeChat, the Swiss Army knife of the digital world with which you can chat, pay, and scan a go-go. A sort of multitasking WhatsApp. All these apps put out there by the Chinese tech giants are gobbling up personal data, which directly feeds the party's ever-vigilant surveillance system. I go to meet data analyst Feng Xiyuan in a very trendy neighborhood of Beijing. he confirms that the pandemic did indeed accelerate the data harvesting system, doing so directly by means of the apps installed on mobile phones.
Let's compare the health code system to a cake. At first, the engineers and inventors of the tech companies, such as Alibaba and Tencent, came up with the recipe for the cake, and they showed this to the government. Only government departments have the right to request the personal data stored, for example, by airlines, railway, or telephone companies, data which they can use under certain conditions. This is how the government sources the ingredients for the cake. But in order to mix the ingredients together and bake the cake, only the tech companies have the capacity to do this. The government isn't a baker. Next, we can see that the government has the right to ask online payment platforms for details of transactions, also under certain conditions. The question is how to find a balance between protecting personal data and what the government is permitted to do. This is something the whole world is arguing about right now.
But it's not a new debate. Already in the late 1980s, as China was opening up to a market economy, it started to use data to control the people. The country was waking up to fried chicken, Ferraris, and money. Lots of money. But that faint tune of freedom was soon muted by the party. Mao's grandchildren wouldn't be any freer. They'd just be rich. In exchange for access to consumer goods, nothing about the lives of the Chinese could henceforth be kept secret from the party. Beijing would regulate the flow of money in its own way, controlling consumption and thereby the citizens. My wife Lulu is a child of the great consumerism boom and of the mobile phone. She's one of those Chinese who buy, spend, plan holidays, and dream of retiring to the sun. Ever since the People's Court of Commerce started selling off the revolution, her generation has been enjoying the boom. It was this hunger to consume that brought about the Chinese financial credit system in the 1980s. But first of all, Beijing wanted to understand the strange mechanics of the market economy and familiarize itself with the notion of credit. Xin Dai, a law professor at Beijing's Tsinghua University, the most prestigious university in the country, explains how this happened. As in the old cliché, China just went ahead and copied what we do best in the West. The ancestor of Chinese social credit was made in the USA.
The story one is some senior official paid a visit to the U.S., right? And then, so apparently somebody, so he was trying to find out, okay, look, why supposedly there weren't as many frauds in the U.S. markets as compared with China's, right? So what's really the difference? So one difference he apparently realized, or at least somebody told him, or he discovered, was that the U.S. has something called credit system, right? So credit reporting, credit rating, right? So because if you committed fraud, once or in one transaction, and that would become recorded into your credit profile, credit record, and then if you have that negative entry, that might actually make it very hard for you to get into future transactions or be trusted as a trustworthy business counterparty in the future.
The party saw in these financial regulation mechanisms the potential for a much more all-encompassing system of control. What if one could establish a score based on the solvency and habits of the consumer? Thus was born the idea of social credit, marking citizens on their purchasing behavior. A system of good and bad marks to achieve the ideal of a harmoniously integrated society. A program spelled out in the 5-year plan and revealed to the public by the Chinese government in this document in 2014. The social credit system is an important element of the socialist market economy system and of the social governance system. Encouragements for loyalty and constraints for untrustworthiness are used as rewards and punishments. The accelerated construction of a social credit system is an important basis for the total implementation of the concept of technological development and the establishment of a harmonious socialist society. A system in which information about your finances is cross-referenced with your civic behavior. Marks are given, creating a new social order with first, second, third, and fourth-class citizens.
The idea is if you accrue points, the more points you have, you might use these points to have some sort of like preferential access to certain kind of public services. For example, you might go to the public hospitals without paying a deposit when you see a doctor. You might be able to go to certain public parks without paying entry fee. You might be able to get discount fares when you use public transportation, all these kind of things. Also, I think in Suzhou there are some stuff like you can just go to public libraries and borrow books without paying a deposit because your score might be good. But mostly are these kind of things at this point, right? So, really, how important are they, or how trivial are they, right, at this point?
And my wife in all this? Does Lulu have enough credit in the eyes of the government? She's a model student anyway. Her counter is up by 5 points. 5 points that she's no doubt earned thanks to her good consumer habits, her civic sense, and her respect for the rules. Xindai does an analysis.
We see here that you can do lots of things. With your current mark, you could stay in these hotels without having to pay a deposit. You can get reductions on travel, and this is very interesting. Visas for Canada, Argentina, and Latvia. This doesn't mean you can just get a visa from the Canadian embassy without supplying certain documents. But as you're at a certain level, there are some documents you won't have to bother with. It doesn't mean a good mark will get you a visa all by itself. Of course it won't. But it can be helpful and will be recognized by some embassies.
For Lulu, it's the promise of travel with less hassle, thanks to the good mark displayed on her app.
So she has a good score?
She does.
Did you know all that?
No, there are things I didn't know.
Not as scary as we thought.
It's not scary at all.
Okay, Lulu doesn't share my fears about this 100% digital world. This society in which no one can hide, where everything you do is recorded, analyzed, and interpreted, where your mobile phone can turn you into a good or bad citizen.
It's not sticking properly, but...
Doesn't it bother you at all that you can be kept under surveillance via your phone? Everything is monitored.
I haven't done anything wrong. So if someone's interested, they can do whatever they want.
Do you like living with that, or would you like to refuse?
Why would I refuse? Anyway, you can't.
So what if you could?
I wouldn't. It's so practical, it makes life much easier. You can't do without it.
The companies behind WeChat and Alipay know everything about you. Are you more afraid of them or of the state that's tracking you?
I wouldn't say afraid, but sometimes it's a bit worrying. Like, you might make a stupid joke, and if it touches on politics, then you might get someone calling you up to tell you off.
Phone or not, it makes no difference to the way you live?
No, I haven't changed the way I live.
The question really is, are we going to basically dial all back to the day where we don't have smartphones, we don't have video cameras, we don't have whatnot, right? Or maybe this is the way we go. So the equilibrium always changes, and we understand. Okay, look, all this information surveillance, they bring us something that we think is good, which for example, greater safety, greater security, greater efficiency, which actually people would have desired if on the condition that some other core values we don't lose or we'll be able to deal with it.
Do the people actually have a choice? Is there an alternative to accepting these new rules for living imposed by the regime? After all, as Lulu says,
it's so practical.
The logic of global surveillance accompanies the changes in Chinese society driven by technological advancements. This can be seen with the disappearance of an item which first appeared in China in the 11th century, the banknote. Gradually in Beijing, banknotes, which are by nature anonymous, are being replaced by contactless payment, which is easily traceable by the regime. The irony is that with each note that disappears from circulation, Mao's face is erased a little more from people's everyday lives. It's amazing to think that well into the 2010s, I had to pay cash for everything, and that my foreign credit cards were hardly accepted anywhere.
And the life of Chinese people has changed, since they are living life at their fingertips.
Today, state television is even selling the society to foreigners.
Go and buy breakfast on the street and pay by
a world in which everything is so much easier, as long as you don't mind the party knowing everything about you.
Purchase your ticket. Why is Thomas from Germany celebrating with so much enthusiasm? Like many foreigners in China, he is enjoying the convenience of a life without cash. So pervasive is the trend that robbers would be hard-pressed to find any cash to steal from in a modern Chinese store. This is a glimpse into the life of most Chinese.
But an even more advanced piece of technology now makes an entrance in our lives.
So, what do you want?
Water's fine.
Just water? Like this?
Yep.
That one or this one?
The top one.
That's a lot more expensive. So, oh, you pay by sharing your face?
Yes, payment by the customer's face.
Done.
So, you've paid for a bottle of water thanks to facial recognition. Do you know how it recognized you? Don't you wonder how you're able to pay with your face?
It asks you here, you can choose to pay with your face or QR code.
How does it recognize your face?
It's recorded. When you subscribe to Alipay, it scans your face. It's recorded in the paying system.
What do you think about that? Do you like it? It's freaky, isn't it?
No, it's just funny. It's amusing.
Name, address, phone number, movements, purchasing history, and now face. All the data are compiled, connected, combined. If truth be told, I'm not sure it is all that amusing. In every face, the party can now see the private life of every Chinese citizen. A mass surveillance tool at the heart of the Chinese government's investments. Over the years, Beijing will gain its technological independence, breaking free of foreign companies in the domains of facial recognition and artificial intelligence. Xi Yinan is vice president of Megvii Technology in Beijing. This Chinese unicorn is a world leader in facial recognition, technology that is sold in particular to the police, allowing them to use surveillance cameras to identify individuals in real time. The complex facial recognition software is presented in this promotional video, shot like a Hollywood trailer.
Mr. Li, a financial crook on the run since 2016, was spotted by the Sky Eye and the police were informed. After a quick check, he was soon arrested. We call it the city's brain. On the one hand, there's private use, and on the other, there's security use controlled by the police. We're already working with 27 provinces in China, improving their security. Our technology has led to the arrest of over 3,000 criminals.
This program, called Smart Eyes, is just one part of a more far-reaching program, a network dubbed Skynet. It's a nod to the system of artificial intelligence which takes control of the planet in the film Terminator. The aim is to be able to identify anyone, anywhere, thanks to hundreds of millions of surveillance cameras.
We can now also collate lots of elements about the vehicles like we can about the people, including particular characteristics. The make of car, the people's hairstyles, their clothes, whether they're on a bike, whether they're carrying a bag. All these details can be recorded. And this lets us analyze everything going on in the city from day to day. For example, in this street, we can find out what sorts of cars there are, the busy times, whether there's a traffic jam or an accident, what kind of people walk down this street. So, if we need to know what happened at a particular time and who was present, it's really easy. It's what we call the Urban Sky Eye.
Data and technology which also enable them to predict and anticipate the behavior of individuals in the public space. And all that thanks to big data and artificial intelligence. It's estimated that Chinese research into artificial intelligence is about 2 decades ahead of its direct rivals. I head to Tsinghua University to meet Professor Su Guangda, one of the scientists who's contributed the most to the development of this technology since the early 2000s.
The Chinese government was the first to use facial recognition during the Beijing Olympics in 2008. It was the first time in the world that it was used during an Olympic Games. Thereafter, the World Expo and other events requiring heightened security were able to use facial recognition. This was only possible because of major financing by the state. This improves the level of public safety so that the people can live in a more harmonious, safer society. And it's why they should support facial recognition. It has many advantages. There are companies with data about more than 100 million individuals. The reason facial recognition is a success is because the amount of data is immense.
And the amount of data should increase further with advancements in facial recognition.
Apparently, it's also possible now to identify people by the way they move.
Yes, there's research underway into people's gait or other movements, into iris recognition as well. But for now, recognition by movement is still at a low level and is not ready for actual use yet. But all this technology is very useful for making cities safer places, for making China safer.
Recognizing people, predicting their movements, checking and observing their daily routine. Surveillance has always been the raison d'etre of the party state. From 1949 and the birth of the People's Republic of China, Beijing had eyes everywhere. Political commissars and neighborhood committees were the eyes and ears of public security in the heart of the people. It was a net cast over a population that didn't travel, a walled-in country cut off from foreigners. But Chinese society changed and started moving around. From town to town, region to region, country to country. Here too, the party has a solution for maintaining effective surveillance.
Bonjour.
Today, we're off to Shanghai for the weekend, 1,300 kilometers from Beijing. Lulu made the booking using Alipay, one of the apps on her smartphone. 757, is that your number of points? My wife is a good customer with a top mark. Her credit is high enough to ensure that her booking went through. We head for the main station in southern Beijing, one of 3 that serve the capital. Taking public transport in China, could anything be easier? But when my wife reserved her train ticket, the app didn't only check her bank account. Alipay went a lot deeper. All the details of Lulu's private and social life are digitized on her phone, just as they are for all her compatriots. There, a couple of scans and it's all done. You scan your face to get into the station, and then again to gain access to the train. All done. The app cross-referenced a much wider spread of data and authorized her to buy her ticket and therefore to travel.
If you become placed onto a judicial blacklist for being delinquent on, payment to, to the winning party of your lawsuit, and then this blacklist, so it will mostly it will be publicized on court website, and then also this blacklist will also be sent to the railway authority and also to the airport authorities. So they do have your information over there. And then when you want to buy a ticket, of course, when you buy a ticket, you need to provide your ID number, right? And then that's where they got you there.
On the train, Lulu tops up her credit by spending money with her app. The QR code again. And more facial recognition.
I look awful.
And yet again, lots of data transmitted to Alipay's servers. My wife takes care of her credit and remains a good citizen. Her biggest fear is dropping below the threshold of 350 points and joining the list of second-class citizens. Once we get to the hotel, it all starts again. We were able to reserve a room in this hotel in Shanghai thanks to Lulu's good mark. A bad credit rating and ending up on the blacklist would have put an establishment like this out of reach for us. The blacklist is at the very heart of this social credit program. It's the ultimate algorithm ready to be deployed at any moment by the Chinese Party state, creating a system in which virtuous behavior is encouraged and rewarded. For those who cross the line, the sanction is immediate and their mark is downgraded. And maybe this is the party's greatest victory, improving people's behavior without having to wield the stick.
Some of the laws say, look, the social credit system is to, improve market efficiency, to enhance regulation, but also to promote good values. But then, the question is always, for the third component, how do we do that? Honestly, you can't use these kind of things. They may, right? Sociologically, you can say, look, as people care more about what they have said, what they have promised, then maybe eventually through keeping promises, they become more honest whatsoever.
More honest, and above all, more respectful of the rules. And it starts with crossing the road properly. Those who infringe these ideals of the harmonious society can no longer hide.
That's scary. Just then they flashed up the photo of a guy and a girl on the big screen. It's scary, isn't it?
Then what happens? They get a fine?
No, but imagine if you do it all the time. Your face will get shown all over the place. Maybe it'll affect your points.
You see your face up there in the middle of the street. It's weird.
You shouldn't cross when the light's red.
Most people wait for green.
Yes.
They follow the rules.
Or your photo gets flashed up. You get shamed.
Shall we try to cross on red just to see?
No, I'm not doing that. Only foreigners do that. But even the foreigners are behaving properly, can you see?
I could go and see my photo up there. That'd be cool.
Go on if you want. Not me.
What would happen?
Your photo would be on the big screen. That would be awful for you. That's how the rules are enforced.
They don't explain if you get points taken away, or... For the moment, it's just your face being flashed up?
Yes, it's just that. The shame.
The shame. To monitor the public space permanently and effectively, one particular piece of kit is needed. The surveillance camera. They've been proliferating all over China since the early 2000s. In apartment blocks, offices, shops. They're everywhere. Of the world's 20 cities with the most surveillance cameras, 18 are Chinese. Chongqing, with a population of 31 million, has one camera for every 6 people. Shanghai, 26 million, has one for every 9. In comparison, this is over 10 times more than in the most equipped European cities. A society under a surveillance that it's practically impossible to escape. Chinese Big Brother's eyes are everywhere. In the public space, Lulu can't escape the dictatorship of her social credit mark. Anonymity is disappearing from Chinese society. Even the most private matters affect your social credit. Could Lulu's mark be affected by her diet? This could be next. A healthy citizen in a healthy body. Are you paying or checking how you look?
Both.
Well, that's handy.
Yeah.
What did you buy?
Something healthy.
What?
Tea.
Tea. Imagine if that affected your points.
Then I'd earn more, because I only drink tea.
Do you think you can earn points by drinking tea? And lose them by drinking alcohol? I mean, if you had a beer instead?
I think that might happen one day. If you have a burger and chips, maybe they won't take away any points, but it could be noted you're in bad shape, so you should drink some tea. What do you want?
Salad. Some veggies. If your credit depended on what you ate, it'd be a good thing. It would make you eat more healthily.
But sometimes you need to treat yourself. You can't live on that alone. If you only eat that every day, if that's all you eat day after day, it's the life of a prisoner, like being in prison. They bring you your tray, and you have no choice. If you don't eat it, then you starve. We're human beings, after all.
Lulu hasn't totally given in to letting her existence, her desires and aspirations be conditioned by these strictures. However, while not quite everything is affected yet, social credit is seeping into people's minds like a new software in the brain. Where are we going?
The bookshop.
Xi Jinping's book?
First, second, and third.
The Thoughts of Xi Jinping?
Yes.
How many points would buying the 3 tomes of the Chinese president's political vision, or a recent hagiography of him, add to my wife's social credit?
That's Mao.
Buying an anthology of Mao's poems, or an authorized biography of Deng Xiaoping? It's the political section right at the entrance.
Marx.
Would buying them help Lulu reach the holy grail of the 950 points of the model citizen? Just think you could get some points by buying Xi Jinping's book.
No, I'm already good enough.
And you don't read forbidden books?
I don't know what books are forbidden.
You're very good.
No, I'm not. I'm just normal.
A model of society entirely regulated by norms. Your points, your social credit. But there are some Chinese who reject the idea of their private life being out in the open. We have an appointment in the northern suburbs of Beijing. Deng Yufeng is a militant artist. His fight is to protect personal data, denouncing big data's grip on private lives. I don't know what his social credit is like, but his stance must have given him a bad score, maybe even put him in the red. These yellow leaflets were his latest piece of performance art.
So what are these leaflets all about?
My immortal life. They represent all my secrets as a human being. But the secrets are made public and printed on this document. It's a sort of curriculum vitae. The CV has some basic information, even my password for the bank, for my WeChat account, and other things like that. And then some even more private details, secrets.
On the 18th of March 2021, Deng Yufeng went out with 3 volunteers and a bunch of Western journalists. They handed out to passers-by his immortality leaflets in the streets of Beijing's 798 neighborhood, where several artists' studios are located. In China, denouncing the assault on the private domain by the digital grim reaper of the tech giants is a risky business. Deng Yufeng's yellow leaflets got him taken straight to the police station. And no doubt did yet further damage to his social credit.
There were security agents or something like that watching me. They must have called the police. I was locked up for 24 hours.
The artist was already getting himself noticed in October 2020. He did an experiment to show the people of Beijing what it takes to escape surveillance. He worked out a route for walking down a certain street while not being captured by a single camera. He spent 2 months measuring the street, photographing it from every angle, and checking its 90 cameras, not only their positions, but also their fields of vision.
Sure. Look how long the street is. The cameras can pick you up everywhere. He did all this. It's the work of a real engineer.
On the day itself, he and a group of volunteers walked slowly in single file up the street, crouching with heads bowed. They stepped off the pavement, crept along walls, hid behind advertisement hoardings. In all, they took 2 hours to cover little more than a kilometer.
This speaks to me about the way the state governs. It's all about the way the state has decided to act. And I chose a powerful way to address this. I wanted people to remember, because in this country, the people, including you and me, have no understanding of the law. We don't know what our rights are. We're not aware of the legal aspects of confidentiality. So these are effective means of raising people's awareness and maybe getting some results.
But Deng's battle seems to be lost in advance. Beijing controls the tech giants, and its right to inspect and use their data has never been challenged. Alibaba, Tencent, and Baidu are the party's pets. Behemoths without which the Chinese government could never have set up such a surveillance system. But in China, what the state demands, the state gets. And there's no one to check up on the party. Back to my wife and her social credit. How does she imagine the world 20 years from now? Here we are, leaving our Beijing apartment one morning, watched as always by the surveillance cameras. By the way, that one wasn't there last night. This is the last stage of the journey I began with Lulu a year ago. What is my Chinese wife's opinion of this society, which promises her a life of staying in credit? A life for which she is an ideal customer.
Can we totally control all this new technology and use it for good? Are we strong enough to control all this software and new technology? I don't know. It makes you think. Everything you do, everything you say, first of all you think, is that allowed or not? What will it do to my points? Will they take some away? Will they punish me in some way? So we're all putting ourselves in a box. They're eating away at our brains. You could say it's turning us into robots. The children being born today will be adults in 20 years. What will they be like? They'll be half robots inside, but they'll still look like human beings.
So what I suggest, Lulu, is that we do this again in 20 years and see if it's turned out the way you think it will. I hope not.
Will you still be able to hold the camera?
But history already seems to have been written. To live in this new type of society, my wife won't have long to wait. Beijing has its finger on the button, ready to launch its social credit and harmonious society program into orbit. Lulu won't be looking away from the score on her mobile phone anytime soon.